This morning, the White House defending Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again report, even as experts raise concerns about its accuracy.
Does the White House have confidence that the information coming from HHS can be trusted?
Yes, we have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS.
Carolyn Leavitt announcing the White House is fully standing behind HHS and RFK Jr. after it was found out that they were citing fictional studies to justify the things they want to do. And why would fake studies hurt their confidence? They don't care if the studies are true or not. They're interested in that scientific stuff. It's all a means to an end. Getting rid of vaccines, defunding research, firing scientists, that's the mission, and they do very much have full confidence in that. Now, we're gonna get into some of the citations that were wrong and why. There's very strong evidence that AI is to blame for this, but first, a little bit more from the video.
The section on teen depression rates, a research paper by Dr. Catherine Keyes was cited, but Dr. Keyes says she never wrote that paper.
The ranges of estimates that were in the statement are not based on my work and work that I know.
At least 2 research journals also confirming they are not able to find research cited in the government's report. The White House dismissing the mistakes as formatting issues.
But it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government.
And again, there's a grain of truth there. It is transformative when you take absolute bullcrap and you turn it into something that's gonna ruin a country. That's right. Alchemy at that point. Professor McGonagall should be teaching that. Anyway, yeah, no, it's the substance is actually what's issue. It's not formatting. It's not that the margins were at the wrong width. It's not that one of the images spanned a page break. This is not a formatting thing. This is directly getting conclusions of studies wrong or inventing studies that don't actually exist. And I don't know how many of these we can cover with the time we have. There were 4 papers cited, don't exist at all. Some of the studies were real, but how they used them was 100% wrong. So in one section about mental health medication, the report cites a review paper. It claims shows that therapy alone is as or more effective than psychiatric medicine. But one of that paper's statisticians said that that conclusion doesn't make sense, given their study didn't even attempt to measure or compare therapy's effectiveness as a mental health treatment. And that, combined with a few other specific things, have led some people to believe that they just used AI to generate this. AI hallucinated, as it always does, and it takes bits and pieces of things that actually exist, but it's not a human. It doesn't understand what's going on. And I mostly find that to be convincing. The only thing that makes me question whether it was AI is it is possible that RFK Jr. did, as he likes to do his own research. And I'm sure he's as utterly incapable of understanding scientific research as ChatGPT. So it's possible that it's just him doing what he's going to do. But remember, they're moving ahead. They're not like pulling back on this. And we're already seeing the ripple effects of this. They've changed the government's advice on COVID vaccination. They pulled a nearly $1 billion Moderna contract that they had to generate next level flu vaccines, including one for the bird flu. They're just done with it. And it's explicitly based on the sort of COVID vaccine conspiracy theorizing that they've done. They're saying it's because it's the mRNA things. That was never anything, it's not real, we don't need to do this research. So they are going to be as ill prepared for the next pandemic as they were when we hit the last one.
Right, and today the CDC, of course, saying on COVID vaccines for children that they're safe. So the doctors are saying one thing, and the crank who thinks he's a doctor, who's the Secretary of Health and Human Services, is saying something else. But
well, who are you gonna trust, the doctor or the worm buffet, really?
That's true, that's a good one. Can I have a second with that?
Yes,
okay.
Think of this.
And so that's the whole rub here, right? Is you have somebody who came into this job as an opportunist who ran for president, saw an opening to get a job that for which he was unqualified, really, and is trying to manipulate the facts in such a way. And then they're standing by it, right? So they stand by it and they say, yeah, this is right, just some formatting errors, but the medicine is sound. Well, the medicine isn't sound, right? Because they're using, as John said, medicine that they kind of made up, right? That wasn't really true. And they're standing by a report that is, with citations, that are inaccurate. They're fiction. The nice thing about the internet is I got to look up who Professor McGonagall was while John was doing his presentation, and I found that it was a Harry Potter character, and it
teaches transfiguration.
Teaches transfiguration, exactly. And so, but really, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. And so, how can you stick by a medical report from AI? Even if it was a mistake, they should say we made a mistake. We'll issue another report that will be largely like this with different citations. But you can't stick by a report that is citing science that doesn't exist, not even refuting science.
Yeah, this is the MO of the Trump administration. Always double down, never backtrack, never say, yo, we made a mistake. This is easily fixable, simple mistake, move on. Hand up, my bad. No, never. That's just not the way of this administration. And yeah, Robert F. Kennedy, as Mike said, he's a crank. There's just no two ways about it. Like I think there's obviously something to the idea that the big food companies are damn near poisoning us with some of the chemicals and different things that they put in the food supply that are banned and outlawed in places like Asia and Europe and other places. Like, we're ingesting stuff that other countries is like, no, we're not doing this to our citizens. That's true. RFK ain't addressing any of that. He is doing all of the craziest, most easily discredited stuff. And yeah, man, we'll see how long this lasts. I don't think he's gonna be in there for 4 years, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, and to what Waz is saying, John, quickly, is also when you defund the EPA and the FDA in the way that this administration has, you don't address any of that either. So it's not just Kennedy and his department, which has also been, slimmed by a lot because of the Doge cuts, those ridiculous Doge cuts. So it's all tied together. So you're not going to get anybody addressing the real problems that Waz is talking about, which is the things that are added to our food and our air and all of that. But
exactly, yeah. The EPA every single day is clearing the way for corporations to poison our water, our land, and our air.
Yeah.
Oh, MAHA, definitely, they're serious about it.
Right.
It's absolute BS. I mean, even if RFK Jr. was honest or competent, even if he wasn't earthworm leftovers, it doesn't matter because the administration isn't interested in this. The movement fundamentally is not passionate about getting healthier. We just had that big, mostly fictional fight about Democrats trying to take away their natural gas ovens. How dare you? I don't care about the asthma. I like the way it feels. Like, they have never been passionate about becoming healthier. And then you look at what's actually in here, and I agree with Waz, by the way. I do think the food industry and pharmaceutical companies get away with a whole lot, mostly price gouging, but also probably giving us some stuff that we shouldn't have. And we should take that seriously. We should take microplastics seriously. Where in the big beautiful bill are they proposing regulations on literally any of that? Meanwhile, in this transformative, mostly ChatGPT generated study, not only have they done all that stuff that we already said with vaccines, they're laying the groundwork for the ultimate coup on vaccines. They raise concerns about the childhood vaccine schedule, suggesting that there could be a link between vaccine injury and chronic disease. It's just that is the foundation of the anti-vax stuff, is they're gonna try to stop kids from being vaccinated. And if you don't think he's gonna do it, okay, we'll talk about it in a month, 3 months, 6 months when they finally do it, because that's where this is headed. That is the only goal RFK Jr. has ever had, that and profiting off of his work, which he has always done. And so they're definitely gonna do that. By the way, if this is such a serious and transformative look at the causes of illness and death among kids, you know what the leading cause of children's death in the country is? In America, not in civilized countries, but in America, it's guns. They're not mentioned in the study at all. Make America healthy again, unless the thing that's made you unhealthy is being shot, in which case they're not interested.
Yeah. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.